Hi guys, Mindstone here, and today I'll be talking a bit about the neutral cards revealed at blizzcon 2015, and they're part of the new adventure, the Leauge of Explorers. And there's some interesting cards that, and you guys probably. First card up is Jeanne Asifa. Yeah, this card is, well, it's interesting, and the reason I think it's interesting is because it might not be a crazy card just when you play it, but just the threat factor of this card is huge, absolutely huge. Because you can play this, and as soon as this is on the board, you threaten with being able to play another card and buff that card with, I don't know, Seal of Champions, Blessing of Kings, Villain's Chosen, something. And suddenly this card gets absolutely disgustingly big as well. So I think it's a very dangerous card to play versus, and your opponent's pretty much all the time going to try to remove this if you play it, because he's afraid of it getting buffed indirectly by its effect. So yeah, I think it's a really good card, especially if you have a deck that actually has the possibility of pulling off one of these buffs. I'm thinking especially Paladin Priest. Don't think the other classes have that good buffs really, at least they're not so good with it. I could see if Fiora and Edis is the two legendaries from Gitchgi being played with this card as well. Some pretty crazy buffing. But yeah, I think this card is going to see play. Next card up is Ancient Shade, and I don't like this card. I think the stats are not good enough for making it worth it. You get basically +2 attack for this crazily bad battle cry, which is stupid. Like, why would you deal 7 damage to yourself for 2 extra stats? I would not do that. It kinda sucks. Really badly. No. It's a big game hunter range. Maybe if it had been 4/7, but I don't think so anyway. I don't think it's good enough. I just don't like it. So guys, this card is bad. Do not play it. It is not good. It's not working. I don't think so, at least. Next card up is Vasantha Sentinel. I think this card's pretty good, because it is basically giving a lot of stats for not that much mana, and it's not going above BGH range, even though it actually offers 7/7 in stats. And it has 4 attacks, so priests have a bit of trouble dealing with it. I just see it as good in a lot of ways. So I think this is a really great card. I don't know if it's gonna have it's either gonna be a good card you don't really know what to put in your deck, or it's gonna be having Pilot Shredder status where you just put this in your deck every time because it's so good. So it's definitely a good card, but the question is it a filling card because you don't have another required 5-drop, or is it a must-have card? That's the question with this card. But it's definitely going to see play. Next card up, Archthief Ratham. This guy actually is the first card I'm going to showcase, which has the Discover mechanic, which is basically draw a card, but before you draw the card, you're getting to see 3 possible draws, and you then choose which one you want. But this card's hard to review because I don't know what the powerful artifact is. So, I'd imagine a weapon, but I don't really know actually. So I can't say if it's good or bad yet. Initially, I say bad because it's in BGH range and it's a 9-drop, but not amazingly good stats. It's alright stats, but the battle card really got to do something for this to be worth it. So yeah, maybe not. We'll see. I can't really tell before I know what artifacts there are to be drawn. Then we've got Brand Bronzebeard. This guy is good. Really good. What mainly attracts me about this card is that you can play it in conjuration with a maximum 7-drop. You can't play 8 drops in this card. But if you play this and a 7-drop, you're gonna get a huge battle cry really. Yeah. And that's just cool. I feel yeah, you get double Cabal Shadow Priest, which is just what? if you're playing with an acro deck or something. But I could see this either in targeting a single battle cry that you just want to be doubling, or you want to have a battle cry deck where this is just doubling a lot of battle cries, but not like huge battle cries. So I think this card's good. I think it's going to see play. I don't know if it's going to be in like a deck specifically targeting battle cries, or just as a fun card to like combo with another battle cry. But we'll see. Next card up is Huge Toad. This doesn't seem like it's just an ordinary card really. Maybe Beast Druid, except for that, I don't think so. There's two good 3-drops. Like in aggro, Knife Juggler's too good. Like then I could say like a lot of class cards that you play over this card for different cards, like Shielded Minibot, Source of Renders. Like there's a lot of cards that I just feel like have like they're better. Like, so I wouldn't play this card. Most of the stuff, like so, like because either class cards are better, or well, you need Knife Juggler. So no, I don't think this is gonna play. Don't think it's good enough for it. It doesn't really stand out. It's not bad either though. It's just well, mediocre card. Next card up is Eerie Statue. This card is to me a handlock card only. It is horrible in every other deck because you're not going to attack with this ever. It's like you're not going to be clearing the enemy board because there's always death rattle minions almost, and well, they're always in the way. You usually don't get full clears that often while this is on the board, I'd say. I can see if you taunted this guy up or you silence him, he'd be kind of good. But anyway, he's in big game hunter range, and that kind of sucks, I guess. So maybe handlock, but I don't think so because they have a lot of good 4-drops. So I don't think this one would like replace any of them or what. Yeah, I don't know. Don't think. Leauge Starseeker. Yeah. Well, the map of the Golden Monkey is another card is like draw a card and add another card to your deck, which then is like the card that does stuff. That card is like 4/6 with 4 with the taunt. It has battle cry. When you play this, fill your hand with legendaries. No. It just takes too long time because you're not like getting to just that point where you get the legendaries. It just takes a million years. You know, like in this meta, you're gonna be dead before that happens. It's not gonna happen. And in a control meta, I could definitely see this card, but not unless it's control meta. Next card up is Fossilized Devil's Soul. This card's horrible. Like I think it's probably the worst card introduced. Not quite sure though, but I think it might be. The reason is it's a worse Ironbark Protector, and that card's horrible. So don't play this card. Just don't. Just don't. Just don't. Just don't. Then Gorillabot A3. This card's really good because it fits well into most mech decks on turn 4, and it gives them card draw, which is actually something mech decks needed a lot. And it's a discover, so that's better than a normal card, really. So yeah, I just say this is a really amazing card. Sure, you can get shit with it, like really garbage, but you should be getting good stuff usually, because there's not so many bad mechs. Like usually mechs are just mechs, and like it's just another minion you can drop for a discount with Mech Whopper, and that's good. So I like this card. I think it's gonna see play. And then next card up is Jeweled Scrap. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but I don't know. This is like it's kind of reminding me of Novice Engineer, except you get a 3-cost card and you get to choose which one you want. But no, like the only reason you play Novice Engineer is like to mill through your deck fast. This card doesn't do that, but it gives you another card instead that you can choose. So like the positives of this card is that you choose exactly which card you want. The negatives is that it could be 3 garbage cards that you wouldn't like in your deck at all. So don't think it's gonna see play. It's too little tempo when you play it, and yeah, it kind of has the same problems as the Wise Engineer, I'd say. Next card up is Naga See. This card's good actually. I really like it because like the archetype I can see it played in is definitely Astro Chameleon Druid. Because you get this, you get a lot of scouted cards. That's really cool. But except for that, I can see it on turn 10 with another powerful card of some sort that would cost more than 5 usually. Because then that just means you actually are squeezing in Naga See for some kind of mana. And like Naga See, it's actually a good card as long as it costs 4 mana or less. You can basically get this like for no mana if you drop Variant Wren in, because then like Variant Wren costed 5 mana and this one costed 5 mana, which is 5 discount. So yeah, I guess that makes sense in some weird way, but it's good if you can draw a big something with it. That's like the point. So yeah. But usually, again, the meta is too quick at the moment, so it can't be played at the moment. I'd probably wait for a control meta with this card, but it's cool. Definitely cool. Then we got next card up, Murloc Tinyfin. No, it sucks. Like, in Murloc decks, maybe, but usually, no. No. It's a wisp, for fuck's sake, guys. Don't play wisps. We all know that. Just, they're not good. We don't want them. Like, yeah, sure, it gives a bit of additional minions, but Murlocs doesn't really need that. They have like a lot of minions already. Like, you're very vulnerable to Volksy, and you don't want to be even also, I guess. So, this card, with buffs, yeah, it's alright, but I don't think it's going to see that much play. I think it just doesn't really provide anything. I think the Murloc won. Well, next card up is Renault Jackson. I like this card. I like this a lot. If you can get this into your deck, you're basically countering aggro so hard. So I think this card is pretty damn amazing actually. At the moment though, decks usually run with more than one copy of each card, which is kind of a problem with this card. Because then he doesn't fit into them. Like, you don't want to play this in a deck where you have more than one of a card, because that gives you the unreliability factor of this card might not do anything for you, which is something, in my opinion, you don't want. You might be able to risk it, like with going with a card they have like 2 copies of like ones, but you wouldn't run a standard deck with this card in, because then you would be having to go like to 2 cards something left in your deck, and then it would be like unique copies, and yeah. So I'd probably just go with it and say this one is a full heal, and then I don't have 2 copies of anything in my deck. Because like usually there's enough cards for you to build a deck without going 2 copies of anything, but that requires the deck to not be combo or not be aggro. Maybe control, mid-range stuff, maybe, I don't know. Has to be minion oriented because like spell decks usually want 2 certain spells. Yeah. But overall, a really good card, definitely gonna see play, especially in this meta. Then we've got the next card up, Tomb Spider. This card is like, it's Novice Engineer with a beast that you can choose, and you don't want that in most decks really. Like, in most decks, Novice Engineer is just straight out better, except for Beast Druid, which I feel like in this expansion actually got a lot of buffs. But it's still not good. Like, the Tomb Spider is not a good card. It's only going to see play Beast Druid, maybe not even there. I don't know actually. Especially because you have, Savage Combatant on turn 4, which is a really great card. So I don't think this card is going to see like a lot of play. But it's fun. It could be played definitely, because like you get a beast. That's good. But nothing to that. Next card up is Sir Finley Mirkleton. This card is cool. Wow, like it's 1/3 for 1. Super good. Like that's the best 1-drop stats in my opinion, because it trades for a lot of other 1-drops. So I really like that. And you get a damn new hero power. That's cool. One thing is you could play this on 1 and get the hero power you want. Another thing is you could play this on like whenever you want and get another hero power. Like what you can do is basically you can play this on turn 5, I guess, with hero power, this one another hero power. Because whenever you shift hero power, you actually, like, the new one is not going to be, well, used yet, you can say. So that really makes some stuff happen, which is really nice. But anyway, I can see this card being really good in Murloc decks, especially because you want to fish for the Warlock hero power. That's amazing. But yeah, I can actually see it in other things in Murloc decks as well. I can see it as a contested zombie child for some decks. Like, I don't know. It's like there are decks like Warrior that like their hero power so much because they have a lot of cards to synergize with it. But I could see that you would, for an example, a Warlock deck, like you could go, I don't know, Handlock, and then when you feel like, well, now I've tapped until I have 10 cards, I don't really need my hero power anymore. Play this card. So I don't think it's bad, but well, I'm just imagining this card just got true hard. That would be fun. Like getting a new hero power and then empowering that. That could be pretty cool. Or would you get the old hero powers empowerment? We're going to see. I think it's an amazing card. You're going to see it in more than just Murloc because it's really, really good. Next card up is Summoning Stone. This card. Maybe in price because they had Unify. Except for that, no, it's not worth it. Like this card and a 5-mana spell, maybe getting a 5-drop for 10. No, this card's good if it survives, but except for that, it's just not really worth it, in my opinion. So I don't think it's going to see play, especially because it can't defend itself. It's like summoning portal for Warlock. It's good, but it's not good enough. And like, if you can make it stick, it's amazing. But this one is not going to stick. It's not ever going to stick, really. Well, next card up is Wobbling Brunts. Wobbling. What? This is 7 and Hymea. Just I don't know, like it seems good if you just want a lot of value in your deck, but I don't think so really. Like no, it's just not powerful enough in the initial body. If this is one that gets silenced, you lost so much value. Like it's all crazy. So I don't think it's really that good, but maybe. I just think there's better minions. Like it's not because like it's bad, but I just think there are better minions out there that you can be playing rather than this. Like Saturn and Jaime is so much better, and that's like the card I can just compare it to. Well, yeah. So that was, I think, the last card for this little review, and I hope you liked it. And well, at least my favorite card is definitely Sir Finley Merkelton. But well, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you in my next video.